Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Thursday, May 29th, 2014. I have quite a few links this morning, but I'm going to just click through kind of quickly. From Washington's blog, Intelligence Committee doesn't care if targets are even identified before they are assassinated. Government sees no need to know who it's killing. Very interesting attitude, and there the theme this morning is we live in interesting times. That's a Chinese. It's not clear if it's a Chinese blessing or a Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. Well, my friends, we do live in interesting times. From the Daily Caller. Gun seller deemed high risk, dumped by bank. And I'm sure you've probably heard Alex Jones and other people talk about this trend, that this is the way they're going after the Second Amendment freedom to have firearms in the U.S. is they're having the banks, of course, are going after the dealers so that it becomes very difficult to purchase guns. And another Alex Jones issue that I noticed this morning is I saw a headline that throw away your driver's license because Google cars are coming. And I didn't have that link open, but I do have the link in the notes. Just sign of the times, And I just want to say at this point, and I've said it before, Alex Jones just really seems true blue to me. These people come and go, and at first they seem like they're genuine, and eventually you find out that they weren't quite who they presented themselves as being. Here's a case in point. Not really sure exactly what's going on with this guy. From Sherry Questioning All. Snowden on NBC. He is speaking truth. He is amazing. Turn it on. And there are a lot of different people have different opinions about Edward Snowden. Whether he's a double agent or a triple agent, I don't know. It's really difficult to sift through. There's just so much deception and so many people spinning webs of deception, people that maybe you've trusted for a long time. Who knows, programming gets activated, whatever, and they just don't seem to be bringing the clear message of truth anymore. Here from Activist Post, has the next recession already begun for America's middle class? And Zero Hedge has an article. The middle class will die within 30 years, leaving a wealthy elite and sprawling proletariat. If we continue down this path of ignorance, we will be left with a tiny elite and a huge sprawling proletariat who have no chance of clawing their way out of a hand-to-mouth existence, is the loud and clear message from UK government advisor David Boyle. And, I really don't know what these people are thinking, the elites who want to get rid of the middle class. Well, I guess I do. They're sociopaths, and how they process doesn't necessarily make sense. But the middle class, the difference between the Dark Ages and the Renaissance is that ultimately there was a middle class in the Renaissance, and there was no middle class in the Dark Ages. And you would think these elites who claim to love art and beauty would also love the middle class, because creativity historically has mostly sprung from the middle class, and in epochs, times and seasons of history when there was no middle class, there wasn't very much art or beauty or fun. So I think, if the elite were sincere, I believe that in saying that they've changed and the Illuminati wants to be good now. Um, the things that we see happening around us that stifle and kill the middle class would stop happening, but obviously they're just getting amped up, and therefore I think we must reach the conclusion that this claim that they want to do good is not sincere. From RT, Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan sign EPOC Eurasian Economic Union. Is this the next piece of the puzzle for the New World Order? You wonder about Russia. I mean, we all wonder about Snowden. There are so many things that aren't that clear right now. Is Russia really trying to do good and break away from control, or are they just trying to slice their own piece of the pie? I think it's really difficult to say at this point. I do want to mention this about Russia. Another article from RT. Christian activists gather enough support to launch bill banning abortion. And this is in Russia. And, so many nations we have so much blood on our hands, the blood of the innocents from having legalized abortion. And it'd be amazing to see a large nation like Russia actually ban abortion. And I believe that would move that nation further into the favor of God. I mean, any nation that banned abortion, I think that the favor of God would rest on that nation to a greater extent, in a greater measure. So I found this interesting. But, back in the U.S., this is another RT article, and I think more and more we need to be aware, we all need to be aware that RT is putting propaganda out there. U.S. gun violence, product of poison society and normalization of inhumanity. Well, that's not how we would characterize some gun violence that has been contrived. Some of the, don't know about this specific incident, but some of the same crisis actors show up in some of these different places, and it seems pretty obvious that Americans are being manipulated into fearing guns. So again, RT, I think we all, liberty people, alternative news people, need to take it with a grain of salt. From Ascension with Mother Earth and Current State of Affairs, and this is not new news, but this is the first time I've mentioned it. You may have already heard. Catholic Jesuit superior resigns after charged with black mass child sacrifice. So whether this is a harbinger of good change to come, it's hard to tell. And finally, for the good news of the day, Conscious Life News. Homemade electricity creating buzz in Germany. And if you follow Benjamin Fulford, you know that he's been writing a lot about free energy lately. And it really looks like some of these things are right on the horizon. And the control grid is tightening and trying to eliminate the middle class, trying to get rid of guns, trying to infiltrate and take over the alternative media. But at the same time, on the horizon are all these bits and pieces of experience and breakthroughs that really seem to have potential to help us to enter into a new renaissance, if you will. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty by enforcing the Bill of Rights.